Hey guys, it's me, Ty Baldpez, out in this beautiful park. Here to talk to you all today about some knowledge and how I went from working a normal 9-to-5 job to drop shipping and earning about 1 million pounds every month from scamming. From making very fair deals with random people online. And, okay. No, real talk. Decided I'd try something different today. Out and about here in Oxford. And it's getting pretty late. Weirdly enough, it looks like it's earlier on the phone. But here I am, walking around. Decided I'd do something different. Do a walk and talk it for a change instead of just sitting on my bed or on a chair or something at home, or not in this case home, whatever, at an Airbnb and talking. Yeah, what do I want to talk about today? Oh yeah, kind of came to a realization that another depressing realization. Because my videos are always a ray of sunshine, but today I came to a realization that pretty much sort of actually tied into the whole like scamming people and things and whatnot is I kind of realized that like reality is essentially like, it's kind of like a loan shark. Pretty much everything this world gives you, it eventually takes it back plus interest. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's just say that like, it's not just so much that things in this life are just kind of transient and temporary and that you kind of return to a net normal, whatever that means, after it's done. It's the fact that it's kind of like, okay, like let's just say, for instance, this is one thing I've been thinking about a lot, but like, how do I put this exactly? Sort of just like thinking back when I was like younger and stuff like that, and how I'd say overall I had a pretty good childhood. It was a mixed bag, especially in my teen years, but overall I'd say it was pretty good. And that's a lot of people would say that's a good thing, to have a good childhood. Yeah, I would agree. It is better than having a bad childhood. Problem is though, it's gone now. To quote Blade Runner, like tears in the rain. It is, it's just fucking gone now. What do I have to show for it? Fuck all. So, I had my good childhood years. I spent them. Reality comes along, takes it away from me, and then it gives the plus interest of adulthood. So it isn't just like it returned me to a normal state of just like, well, I don't have the sort of the naivety and sort of novelty that comes with like a youthful mindset. It doesn't just kind of return me to just sort of like a normal state where things are just kind of okay instead. No, it gives me like the shittiness of being an adult instead. Both in like in a physical and mental sense. It's kind of like the price of youth is you get old, and that's if you're lucky also. But the price of youth is basically you get old or you just die regardless, either way. Great, okay. And then on top of that, it's also just like the psychological aspects of it. Kind of like, it gets replaced from, everything was like all great and interesting when I was younger. And now it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? So, sorry, it feels weird like talking when there's people nearby. But basically it's just like, so now it's not just that I'm like kind of just okay with everything. I'm like the opposite. It's like from being sort of everything being novel and new, it's just jaded and dissatisfied. Just bored of things. Then all the expectations that come with adulthood get thrust on you after the sort of freedom of being a kid. So in a lot of ways, it's like the opposite. It's just kind of like, I don't know, kind of sucks. It's sort of like, people always have this expression of, what is it? Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. No, fuck that. I am sad that it's over. I'm sad that it's over and that it'll never come back again. That's pretty much what you get in the end of it. It isn't just that being an adult now fucking sucks for the most part. It's also that, like, okay, so I get the memory of youth, and people like to hype up the value of memories. Fuck memories. Memories are just either ghosts of the past that sort of taunt you with better times that once were and will never be again, or they're sort of more nightmarish ghosts of bad things that have happened and will continue to taunt you in a sort of traumatic sense and just fuck with you in the present moment, unless you can kind of resolve them. But nobody ever really fully resolves their past trauma. There's always a scar there. So the best you can do is cope with it as much as you can. Maybe you can overcome it, but it's almost impossible to really overcome it. So that's kind of what it is. Memories are either there to just taunt you in a way that it's just reliving past trauma, or they're to taunt you in a way that, you know, these were good times that once happened, you'll never have them again because of the unrelenting passage of time. And that's what I'm saying when I say that reality is basically just like a loan shark. It gives and it takes away, and then it gives you the plus interest of some downside to it. And sort of tied into that, it's kind of funny how, like, a lot of people will rip on sort of like the lifestyle of like a drug addict because, you know, for what should be obvious reasons. It's like, okay, they're living a lifestyle that's unsustainable, where they have a high followed by hangover or withdrawal or whatever after it's crashed. And it's like, pretty much everything's like that though. Like I said with the whole youth analogy, it's like you get the high of youth and then you get the come down and withdrawal of adulthood and eventually old age, if you're lucky. And that's true with other shit too. It's of course true with, like, you know, like romantic shit. Have a relationship, maybe it's a great one, and you get the payoff of eventual heartbreak if you break up or if one of you dies. That's kind of the cost that you have to pay in the end. Just other shit as well, you know, like even just having, how would I say this? Like, let's say, like, this is kind of a random example, but like even like working on like a collaborative project with somebody or a group of people. Like I hear this a lot of times because, like, I've worked on movies and stuff. That's most of my job that I've done in my life. And I get this pang where it's like, you know, you get to know these people. A lot of times they were pretty cool people I got to work with. Then the movie ends. You kind of maybe say like, oh yeah, we'll see each other again. You never see them again. But you always like, it's always nice to kind of buy into that fantasy. And then that's it. You're left with nothing. You don't see those people again. You just kind of depart. You go on with your separate lives. People always say like, oh, but then look to the future. You can have other possibilities in the future. And it's like, yeah, but it's just sad that it's always transient. And also eventually you don't have any more futures. Eventually it's going to be your last movie you work on or your last project you work on. And then what? And also it's just weird to kind of, again, it's kind of like just tied with any connections with other people, relationships or in movies or friendships. It's sort of this, there's something weird about this thing about like, oh yeah, it's fine to have a connection with somebody and then the connection dissipate because you always find new people again. And it's like, I don't like that transient attitude towards other people. Like, what if I wanted to sustain my connection with those people though? I don't want to like refill the void with somebody new constantly. It's depressing. I don't know. I'm more of a quality over quantity type guy. Maybe that's why. I don't know if anything I'm saying is really making sense here, but I think it is. Of course I think it is, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. Something else I was going to say. Oh yeah. Well, even on like on a minor sense, and this is a really common one. This is probably the most minimalistic one, but like even like sources of entertainment. You know, the whole thing about like binge watching a TV show. Very common phenomenon, obviously, especially nowadays. And people get that like high of enjoying just getting to watch the new show, and then you reach the final episode of your favorite show, and then it's over, and there's always that kind of like post TV show blues, where it's just like, well, I'm glad the show is over, like, I'm glad I got a good experience with the show, but now it's fucking done. What now? Now I've just got this void, where I'm just like, I gotta find a new TV show to fill the void. And let's say it was like a really good show, so at least you got like a satisfaction of having like something that just really resonated with you. You know, that's nice for sure. But even with that, there's always this blues of like, people always say like, oh, I wish I could watch this show again for the first time and just feel that same buzz again. Like you can rewatch the show, but it's never quite the same again. And that's just like, well, shit. So you only get that, like you can't erase your memory and rewatch the show again because it's gone. You paid the interest on it. Your interest for watching the show is now that show will never resonate with you quite as much as it did when you first watched it. I think that's basically what it is. That is basically what entropy is. Entropy is the interest payment to the loan shark of reality. I don't know, it's fucked up. Fuck time. That's really what it is. Fuck time, fuck entropy. Yeah, I know they're technically not sentient things, but a lot of times they feel like they are sentient things. They feel sadistic in nature, almost cruel. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. I don't know why more people aren't more like terrified by just the notion of time. I remember when I was like a kid, about 8 years old. It's when it like really dawned on me like the true nature of time. I don't know if I talked about this before in another video. I don't know. Might be a bit young to have that dawn on you. Most people are kind of preoccupied with like, you know, watching fucking Saturday morning cartoons. I was into that too, don't get me wrong. It was definitely a big fixation of mine, but I was also, I guess, surprisingly existential for my age. To be fair, what triggered it was my parents' divorce. And I think it just kind of made it clear to me that like nothing lasts forever. Because up until that point, I think I was kind of living pretty naively, where I was just kind of in that bubble of just sort of like, you know, youthful stupidity and stuff like that. And then that was the first time where I was just like, oh shit, like this, I mean, my parents had issues for sure, and I was even aware of that, but at least I was like, they were still together and stuff like that. And then when they broke apart, I was like, oh fuck, that's the end. It's been broken and it'll never be mended again. And that just kind of spiraled me out in my mind. And I just kept thinking like, well shit, what else is gonna end in my life? Fucking everything. Like I'm just gonna keep getting older. I'm eventually just gonna get, you know, I'm just gonna eventually keep losing stuff, losing connections, losing things. And eventually I'm just gonna get old, maybe, and then just die. That's it. And it's just gonna keep dripping away every day, every moment, just constantly passing by. And it was just freaking me out. I'm just like, every second that goes by is a second that will never come back again. And people are just kind of fine with that a lot of times. And I've come to terms with it to some degree, but it's still pretty fucking terrifying. Like, it's just crazy to think that I'm like, at that moment, that realization in my life was literally 26 fucking years ago, that I'm already 34 years old. And you know what? I was right at 8. Time just trickles by unrelentingly rapidly. And before I know it, it's like, yeah, I will be dead. Because that's just the way time is. It's a bitch. Fuck time. It's terrible. Just draining your fucking essence out every single moment of every single day. And then sort of tied into that, speaking of just essence being drained out and falling away, I've also been just thinking about how chronically unfulfilled I am. And how I almost feel like today, I've just been thinking about like a good metaphor to get at that is, I kind of feel like my psyche, my soul, my whatever the fuck, my mind is basically just sprung a fucking leak. And I think I've always had it. I think everybody kind of has it to some degree. But that leak has gotten substantially bigger over time. And it's like right at the base of my mind. So it feels like every time I try to take something in life to fill it, to get fulfillment, I guess, in my soul and my psyche, be it like some trying to desperate grasp at purpose or excitement or satisfaction, whatever the fuck. Just trying to get something out of life, right? In a general sense. It at worst will just go right in my mind vat and just leak out pretty much immediately. Or it'll at best kind of sit there for a while, give me a bit of satisfaction and fulfillment, but pretty rapidly trickle away anyways. And like I said, it just feels like the leakage has happened more and more rapidly the older I get. And I'm at a point now where I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like the gap in my mind is just getting wider and wider and wider, and basically nothing fulfills me anymore substantially. It's just constantly leaking away. I don't know. This existence is just, it's fucking tragic, man. Fucking tragic. I don't know, and I don't see any way it's ever gonna get better for me, to be honest. I think the most I can do is just cope as best I can. Just get through this, and I don't know, maybe death will make this all make sense and just put some spin on this fucked up journey and make it seem like it was worth it, or maybe it'll just cease to exist and it really will be pointless. Anyways, that's kind of my thoughts for today. It's gonna be a shorter video today, so maybe that's good, because I do feel like these videos get a little bit rambly and long, to say the least. Anyways, let me know what y'all think. And that's me signing off. Oxford Day 2. Peace out.